So when you receive the box of 20 of the cassettes, you're going to have 20 of the individual pack test devices. You're going to have 20 disposable pipettes. I'm going to show you there's a little trick to how much, you want to make sure there's 5 microliters, and I'll show you where that is. You're going to have a buffer, you're going to have a package insert, and you're supposed to have negative and positive controls that come in the box. Unfortunately, they do not come in the box. I learned that today. I will be having these positive and negative controls within the next 7 days, and these controls are very important to have because a CLIA lab will run through and do a positive test and a negative test on one of the cassettes to make sure that it's working as it should. The negative controls are lyophilized human serum samples, so that will go all the way through, and the go all the way through, meaning nothing should be reacting. With the positive controls, there's lyophilized IgG and IgM against SARS-CoV-2. These are animal-based samples, so it will actually react to both IgM and IgG, and once they pop positive, you'll be able to feel confident that it's working as it should. The CLIA lab will require this. This is something that they need, and we will make sure we have it available. This is the Ecotest, or the Assure test. It's a rapid diagnostic test. One thing to note is if they're questioning the Assure aspect of it, on the back, labeled right here, it says Assure Tech Technologies. Has everything you need that follows along with the EUA. Has the lot number here and the expiration date. And of course, here's the temperature where you want to keep it at room temperature. So it's important that you make note of these things, and these are written in every time you do a test. This is the pipette that comes with the test. If you'll notice, it has this very skinny area right through here. This is what you want to fill. This is 5 microliters. Okay, so you'll suction up the amount of blood up to this point here, and then when you're at that point, you're going to go ahead and put all of that blood on the sample well. So that's going to be your determining factor of your volume. It's going to come with the safety lancet spring-loaded. This is going to be your buffer. When you're ready to do the drops of the buffer, you'll simply just unscrew the cap here, and then you're going to gently press down on this area here, and don't squeeze it super fast, just nice and gentle, and do 2 drops after the blood has been placed on the sample well, and of course the alcohol pads. This is the Assure or Ecotest for the COVID-19 that we're going to be utilizing, that is FDA authorized. You're going to have the sample well here. This is where you're going to put the 1 drop of blood and 2 drops of buffer. There's not going to be anything to close. There isn't any other activity to do. It's simply drop and go. And then as soon as you put in the drop of buffer, that's when your timer starts. 15 minutes. You don't read it before 15 minutes. You don't read it after 20 minutes. If you read it before 10 minutes, it's erroneous. That's what the package insert says. However, it is a 15-minute test. So run it to the 15 minutes. 15 to 20 minutes is that window. You have your IgM, IgG, and you can see there's already a line there that is blue that is on the control line. And when it turns completely red, that's how you know that it's been run properly. If it does not turn completely red, you need to discard the test and redo it. You've either had not enough blood or too much buffer or not enough buffer. It needs to be a full red line, not partially blue, partially red, a full solid red line. We're going to start with me undergoing the test itself. My finger here. I'm going to take out the alcohol swab. I'm going to go ahead and wipe off the area you want to hit. Generally, hitting right in the center of the finger is not advisable. It closes up very quickly. If you go to the side, it does a good job. Simply unscrew. This just unscrews, and that's it. Okay. You're simply going to go ahead and put it right on the finger and press down. It auto ejects and it goes right back into the system. So you can see the blood is already raising up. So you'll raise some blood and you're going to wipe it off. Now, I'm doing myself, but this is always done with gloves, but you're going to have CLIA personnel doing this. Now, we're going to go ahead and pull up some blood here. Now, I want you to watch here. I'm going to go ahead and I'm squeezing in the pipette and I'm letting it back. Stop. See, I stopped right at the tip there. Okay? One drop, 1/1000. Let it seep in, and then hit the second drop. As you can see, it's traveling up. As you will see, the blue line now has been replaced with a red line. The red line is now proving that this test is being run as properly as it's supposed to be. Two different things: the specificities, sensitivities, things that are really interested to the parties that are going to be wanting to use this. For one, they're going to want to know if it's FDA authorized. Secondarily, they're going to want to know how accurate it is. More questions they'll have is they'll say or ask if it's the same as a PCR test or the antigen test. Obviously, you know now it's different. What sets this test apart from others? Of course, the external controls, being able to see that blue to red, being able to have an immediate differentiation of the test showing that it's being run accurately and properly is key. All the tests that I know of, all are blank, like the tests you've seen before, and then the control just lights up. When it comes to the CLIA labs, if you are looking for which labs to maybe utilize, mobile labs, getting some CLIA personnel to come in, these are people and laboratory personnel that are trained in moderate to high complexity tests. You can hire them to come in and do the aspect of the test itself, and the doctor will read it from there. So, or you can contract with the lab itself. But one of the sites we've used is www.medyellow.com. That's medyellow.com, and go to laboratory search, and you can find anything. I mean, all the CLIA labs. You'll find the CLIA numbers, the addresses, and if they're listed on this website, and this is where we are going to be going and doing our checks and measures to make sure that it is an actual CLIA lab that has authorization, it is going to be listed on this. In closing, the specificity and the sensitivity for IgM and IgG, they're usually read in a few different ways. It's read as what is the IgM sensitivity and specificity with positive predictive and negative predictive, and that's PPA is positive, NPA is negative. So these are your assessment guides, which has to deal with specifically sensitivity and specificity. So the IgM sensitivity is 100% and the specificity for IgM is 98.8. The IgG sensitivity is 96.5% and the specificity is 100%, and that's with the negative predictive value. So the combined sensitivity, combined together, is 100% sensitivity. The combined specificity for both combined is 98.8%, and it has 0% cross-reactivity with HIV. So in closing, thank you again for your time. I know this is long-winded, but I wanted to go over every part about this test. I wanted you to understand it. I wanted you to know it. I would like you also to take the instructions for use. I want you to read it over for yourself as well. You're going to be responsible for making sure that you are passing on the right information and you are not providing any scuttlebutt, if you will, that will be erroneous data that could in fact put us at risk for misinformation. Hope it's been great for you guys. Thank you again for your time, and be safe and be well.